Good afternoon from Maroochydore. We're on the number 3 oval today. This is where the women's reserve graders play. And as you'll see, there's a little bit of water on the ground. So if this match ends in a draw, it will be decided by 100-metre freestyle relay. My name's Daniel Viles. Great pleasure to be with you. Nauru, thrilling win over New Zealand on the opening day 2 days ago, and then Tonga with an amazing last-ditch draw yesterday evening. But we're underway. Nauru versus Tonga. Match 2 of the Open Women's Division at the AFL Pacific Cup. Now we're able to clean up the back through Naomi Akua. Out towards the boundary, and yes, there is a bit of a stormwater drain after the boundary, but it's a fair bit of stormwater before the boundary as well. Contact over the shoulder. Into the Angels, the Aroeni. The first free kick of the game. They're going to keep it wide on the right. Not quite taken. Spills out the back, comes out to Thrixina Akua. Picked up by Charlie Capella, who played very well on Monday evening. Through plenty of sets of hands, the Aroeni just able to slap it back into space. Krista Detanamo thumped forward. You can see the boys' field in the background. That'll be in use in about half an hour or so. Not important right now. Back to, I think, Capelle. Holika providing some space for a teammate. And that's good handling in wet conditions. Thumped forward again. Good mark. The handling from the Tongans. It was good last night and probably even better on that occasion. Maybe the ball's not wet. Either that or all the players have got their hands covered in Velcro. Because the marking has been spectacular early. Good start by the Tongans. Very wet part of the ground on the eastern side. It's a legal push in the back from Jaya Tabua. Out the side to Rose Scotty. Jaya Tabua again. Handball from Naomi Akua. And a good switch of play from the Nauruans, but they will need to see if they can get it out. It was cut off by Emilina Toto, who scored 2 goals last night. She was brilliant. Up the left for the Storm. An advantage paid. Krista Detanamo on her bike. Just goes out of the way of the full forward in Julius Baguga. I think scored the opening goal on Monday. Tongans trying to work it out of their 50. They do so. Really important to be now. Holika taking no prisoners. She's here to play. Ruth Scotty. Inside 50. Hits the deck. Knocked out by Kayasoni Palanite. 17-minute quarters, and it's going to feel like a lot longer in heavy, heavy conditions. Messy ball on the 50, and there'll be a lot of that today. I don't think any criticism can be given whatsoever. Having handling difficulties in these conditions. Case in point. Lots of opportunities for turnovers, and using turnover ball will be important. Knocked out by Charlie Capelle. Has to wrap around. Taken at the back by Prinzili Ephraim. Support from Gorgeous Tamake, who shares a birthday with me, her and her sister, Gorgeous and Precious. Vanilla Ika finding out that the ground is very slippery. Through the hands of Liliani Ngalo. That landed straight in the puddle. Oh, good flying effort. I think that was Toto. But turns it over to Nauru. Jerusha Kepa. That'll be cleaned up again by Toto. Imposing figure with a very long boot. Kicks it away. Turned over in midfield. It's just forcing backs at the moment. I don't know what that's called in other parts of the Pacific, but in Australia, just trying to get your schoolmates further back on the field. That's tackling before possession was gained, so an easy free kick to Jaya Tabua. Into the middle of the field looking for Keela Tamaki. Keela Tamaki, slalom run through the middle and then brought down in a superb tackle. I thought it was Nita Tuarangalo who was going to get the free kick, but it goes to a teammate. Cut off again, lots and lots of turnover ball. The chat is open, I'll be getting to it shortly. Inside 50 again for Aroeni. The tribe working early. Getting some support from Alina Tamaki. Regathered. They've just been able to stop the Tongans from getting any kind of chain of possession, but the Tongan defence has been strong. That's a legal tackle because she was in possession of the ball. It just looked a bit spectacular after she got rid of it. Brian Waller, was a great game last night. Well, both of the games in the last couple of evenings. Bit of dancing around. That was superbly done by Vita Murphy. I've enjoyed her work so far in this series. And a bit of friendly fire was just kicked out of the way of Naomi Palanite. I hope someone got a photo of that tackle because it was spectacular. Liliani Ngalo just tackled off the ball. Yoshika Cook with the handball. Turned over again. Nauru just able to link up. That good off-ball movement, but turned over. Landed in the arms of Fine, who's been outstanding in both tournaments. Again, Nauru working her way through Keila Tamaki. Not quite reaching Capelle because there was a Pilasita Puano in the road. Back to Tamaki, Keila. Kora Tamaki. Was looking for Krissa. Just about got to her. Some good pressure from Kaneasoni Palanite. All in vain. Let's pretend that was a cross kick. Jerusha Kepa. Kepa looking for space. Created a bit. That's a decent shot from a long way out. And she possibly could have run that through because it's just created another goal scoring opportunity. This could work. Across the face. Out of bounds for a throw in. And maybe with a bit more experience. I think that was Joanne Offa on the line. And she might have been better off either taking the mark and then running it through the goalpost, but knocking it back into the field of play was a little bit dangerous. Good afternoon, Desmond. 4 o'clock is when your beloved Mosquitoes will be playing against New Zealand. The Kahu. Looking forward to that one. Papua New Guinea versus New Zealand. Not a lot of history between the women's teams, but that changes this week. Anyway, runs away from goal. I think she forgot which way she was going. Back towards centre half forward. Plenty of gold shirts. Comes through to Keila Tamaki. Good work from Holika. Holika, the heart of the Tongan side. Samoa, they're not here. Who am I talking about? Working her way through the middle. Good handball over the top to Vika. Comes out wide again to Imeline Toto. Did well after being fumbled. The Ngalo sisters. Tall, willowy, strong. Just taking off the ball. That was a scoop throw. So a free kick to the Tongans. And they can take a lot of pride in their defensive effort. That was about 3 or 4 minutes they were under the pump from the Papua New Guinea, from the Nauruans rather. So I got 4 teams in my head. Good mark in traffic. Might be Halika again. Still learning to recognise these players from the front. I'm enjoying it. Just want to get it right. Beautiful work from Toto on the ground. Puts it out in front of Sionipa, who goes for a tumble and gives away the free kick. And I agree, Alina. Ruth Scotty does know how to tackle. Now, in number 12, one of my sheets has Ruth Scotty and the other one has Rose. Is one of them right and wrong, or does she have 2 names? Love to know, but I'll call her Ruth until further notice. Patrick Savaro with throwing his support behind the Nauruans. Quite rightly so. It's still 0-0. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game in this weather. When the field's 150 metres long, or maybe 160, actually probably more like 150, holding off the ball, and the Tongans with an opportunity. They've got work to do. Good short pass. Excellent work to find Holika. Off the side of the boot. That'll happen a bit today as well. Maybe she was going for the torpedo kick. Shades of rugby. Boundary throw in because it's inside the 50-metre arcs. And you just have to trust me because you can barely see where the 50-metre arcs are on the ground. They're underneath puddle number 14 and puddle number 22. That's where you'll find the 50-metre line. These puddles get much bigger. We'll have to start naming them after people. Tonga on the attack. Nearly fell invitingly for Naomi Palanite. We'll have a restart. Adama Ribal last to get up, which usually means she was the first to get her head over the ball. Toto in the ruck. Holika finding a way through, may go through for a minor score. Holika opens the scoring in a minor way, but who cares? They're all, it could be a game where behinds are doubly crucial. Danger not cleared. Hint of kicking in danger, but I think it was more the ball hitting the foot rather than the other way around. Nauru on the attack. Chrissa dropping the mark in wet conditions. Was able to flick up the pass. Strong tackle. And a nice slide as well. It's always good when you make a good tackle. Lucina Kula. And then you get the visuals of a good slide along the deck as well. I heard a bit of laughter on the boundary, but that's got to be in sympathy because, yeah, you can't. Oh! Gee, I hope Jerusha's okay. She's got the free kick, but she was pummeled in two different directions. But yes, an air swing on a day like today should not be laughed at because that could be you. Nauru, they've conceded to the Tongans. They're a point down. Good mark taken by Precious Tamaki. Good left boot on her. The mark only just dropped streaming forward. Soccering off the ground is going to be dangerous. The umpires have shown they're willing to give away free kicks, but it's worked for the Tongans. Initially through Sianipe, and then turned around. Out wide, dropped. And on a day like today, we noticed this yesterday, even if a player looks like they're going to take an easy mark, still charge. Good mark from Ngalo. The Ngalo sisters, I'm assuming they're sisters because they look pretty much identical in build. Finding targets. Love to see them on a dry day where their marking skills can come to the fore. Turned over. Naomi Akua. Comes wide. The aim is Ruth Scotty. Just knocked out of the hands of Jaya Tabua. This time they clear, but it was because of a scooped throw. So that'll be a free kick to Tonga. Big opportunity with a little under 5 minutes left in this first quarter. Just the 1 point so far in this match. It's a happy Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening to you. Wherever you're watching from around the Pacific, around Australia. Had a few Californians and Philadelphians tuning in. It's a good long kick. That's the kind of thing. Grabbing onto a mark like that in wet weather. And now it just needs another long shot. But the Tongans have been pressuring the goal for a few minutes now. I think it's Emilino Toto with the ball, just trying to get a look at the number. Already with 2 goals in this tournament. It's a long kick, it's a straight kick. And I believe I'm right in saying that's Toto, who now has her 3rd goal of the tournament. Let's have another look at it. We fortunately missed the mark, which was the highlight of that piece of play. But 2 kick and marks out of the centre. Toto coming into screen now. It's a good technique. Nice low ball drop. And straight through the sticks. Tonga on the charge again. Inside 50. Through the legs, but as we hear the sounds of players exerting effort, fans. Tonga with the shot. And that's out of bounds. No score. Tonga still with a 1-1 lead. That should be a bound. No, that wasn't a behind. That was a boundary throw-in. Still 7-0 in favour of the Tongans. 2.5 minutes left. The Storm showing they know how to string some passes together and score in these conditions. Knocked out of the way. Holika! Holika making space for herself, just wide. I love watching Salome Holika play. She was a star last night. And straight down her throat again. There is only one of her. You can see from the trees in the background, it's mainly a cross breeze, I suspect. It's hard to get a gauge on this wind. Holika doesn't get all of it. Wonderful. We saw last night that Nitatura Ngalo knows how to take a mark, and her timing on that run was absolutely perfect. Saw the ball was dropping into the space in front of the defenders, ran into it. Relaxed as you like, maybe too relaxed. Mind you, as a commentator, I'm a very uptight person, so I actually envy anyone who's too relaxed. I should take some of their relaxation from them. Nauru straight up the middle, cut off. Able to regather. Clever work, desperate work from Aroeni. Back inside, works through Liliane Fine. Needs a mark, comes off Ngalo. Opportunity persists. High contact, drawn the free kick. And that comes back to Toto, I think. Apologies, I've got that the wrong way round. It will be a free kick to Yoshika Cook. So Nauru, there's no time to get up the other end to score. They just need to make sure they retain possession. That was the worst possible outcome. Feofaaki Veamatahau. We'll just need to thump this. Okay, so the umpire just saying that as soon as this hits a player well, as soon as it hits a player, the player's over. So go for a thump. And you've got to play it. There we go. Quarter time, Tonga 1-3-9 lead Nauru. Nauru yet to score. Emeline Toto with the goal.
Alright, really good to give us just doing some changes in a moment. So while we wait for them, right, a couple of things was really good there. How you were setting up just back a little bit, so when it comes back out, we had a play across there. So that was really good, okay. And Linnae, was good, you was but yeah, so how she pushed down and went deeper there. Now on the forward, so everyone that plays in the forward line, right, got to play in front. So try playing in front, and when we had a ball, So if we've got a mark out and we're kicking into the forward line, move, lead up at the player. Even if you don't get the ball, create space behind for our next player to come in. So when we've had a couple of shots out there, everyone's just gone and stood and said, kick it to me, but you've got to run up at the ball. Okay, so if we're having a shot into goal and you're in the forward line, run up at the ball. Okay, and then the next person, they'll come behind you and the next person will come behind you. So make sure we get movement on there. Just be careful we don't fall into their back. Right, so try and play in front, keep the ball in front of us all the time. Be careful, sometimes it's really good to kick the ball off the ground, and if you're free and someone's running fast and you can't pick it up, kick it off the ground. But if someone's bending down with their hands near the ball, don't kick it if someone's over the ball, okay? So be careful that you don't do that. The other thing is, with the tackling, make sure we don't go high, because it's wet, let's get nice and low. Okay, get nice and low. Tackle nice and low in here so we don't get high. But other than that, really good. So move on the forward line. If you're in the forward, move. Be careful kicking in danger. Get nice and low with the tackles. Kick the ball on and keep going straight up the middle of the ground. Don't come too wide out here. It's too wet for that. Straight up the middle of the ground today, okay? Really good. And the other thing is 24, their player 24, make sure you stick with it, okay? And if the other one was 24 and what number?
Number 4 there, Linda. Make sure you're on there. She's going.
Yep. All right, good work, go girls.
I was about to start talking, then I heard the Tongan girls making the most rhythmic chant for themselves below me. There is no way an Australian team could clap in rhythm like that. And we've got professional musicians in some of our Australian teams. My name's Daniel Viles, and the Tongans have every right to be happy because they're up 9 points to 0. Troy Sutherland asks if that's what Oval 3 looks like. Oval 2 must be a mess. I was talking to the groundskeepers, Mr. Quagg and Mr. Meyer, before. And, yeah, they I couldn't understand what they were saying through the scuba equipment, but, yeah, they were... oh, dear. It's... we should be back on there later on, but there's not much difference between the three ovals. Underway in the second term.
Very good.
Head out for Nauru, who are running to the right of screen, which is where the wind is blowing. So we'll find out exactly what a 1-goal, 3 advantage means at the end of this quarter. Troy also says been over 250 millimetres of rain in the past week, which is, 10 inches in the old language. I speak new language, but I realise there are other people here. Free kick to Tonga. And Nita Tua missed a shot on goal late in the second. But there's some class lurking there. Dropped mark, no disgrace. Toto, more on her in a moment, courtesy of Brian Barish. Turned over by the Nauruans. Oh, the rugby union fend off from Yoshika. She's outside of 50. Normally that would be a fumble, but in the circumstances, that's actually a pass, I think, when you just... Okay, I thought we saw 2 rugby passes. The second one's been picked up, so Tonga has a free kick. Comes back to Holika. Holika deep inside 50. It's a low driving kick. The intercept mark dropped by Adama. Pushing the back. And so it will be a Nauruan free kick. Liana Mahina throwing her support behind Tonga. Thank you so much, Liana. Mark just dropped over the back. But the Tongans have been dominating territory in this game. Not giving the Nauruans much to do at all. Not so much not to do. Much opportunity was what I was trying to say. Well done at the bottom from Vika Murphy. Inside 50. Plenty of gold jerseys in the way, but the tackling pressure, I think that's Halika again. Apologies, that was Naomi Palanite. Kick through on the ground, that's Latea. She kicked in danger, but it was out of the fingers of her own player. Chaotic ball, it may find a way through. Now, who was the last to touch it? It's a goal, I think that'll go to Nitatua. They made order out of chaos. And in the end, the beneficiary. So, soccered through initially from Latea. One in the chin. Nitatua was chasing it through against 3 Tongans. And it's her boot there. Desperate lunge at the end from Thrixina Akua. But stunning work. And a second goal for the Tonga Storm. And that's into the wind. We're restarting. Brian Barish earlier said, Toto kicks a goal and then blesses the rains down in Maroochydore. Sigh. Secretly brilliant, but publicly sigh. Not getting out of the middle. Desmond, good to hear from you again. And you're right, AFL, or Australian football, AFL's an organisation. Australian football's the name of the sport. It may not have a lot of depth, but their top women's players are putting on a show here in Maroochydore. And in defence, they haven't had to do much defending so far in this match. Clearing kick didn't work for them. But Halika works for them every minute, every game. Players hit the deck and they'll probably enjoy themselves going for a slide in the wet weather. Strong tackle. Just couldn't break free. And a tackle from Latea. Brian, stop it. You know I'm impressed, but stop it. Comes through to Toto. Out of zone umpire spotting something. The Tongans still on the attack. And I agree, Troy, if what Tonga's doing here on the Sunshine Coast of the Pacific Cup could inspire a few more of their countrywomen to say, this is a sport I want to play. Come and join. M. Volge supporting Vanilla Ika, who I've liked in the 1.5 matches she's played so far. Good long. I think the run-up was as long as the kick. Found a target, just couldn't be held on to with the slippery ball, which will be getting worse, of course, as the match progresses. Retreating from Liliane Fine. Held. Important tackle for the Nauruans, who play as a team so well, they can't even work out which one of them earned the free kick. 15-0 to Tonga. Told to play on. She did take her time. Long run. Beats it. Oh, she's run a long way. Must have just been on the edge of the 15. Umpire lets it go. Big opportunity. Not able to be picked up by Julius. Gets the handball away. Needs a straight kick. Gets a straight kick. Couple of times it looked like the opportunity had passed. So after that big run from defence. So Adama was there. I'm just trying to identify the player who scored on the far side. I'd be grateful for any help. It was Julius who made the handball. So sadly, I haven't been able to identify the goal scorer. Just trying to get another look at it on a third replay. Okay, so Nauru scored their first goal, and I'm very sorry I wasn't able to identify the goal scorer. But if you can, get on the live chat and tell me who it was, because I want to make sure they get credit for an astounding piece of play. Free kick comes back to the Tongans, because after Chrissa disposed, she was interfered with, and then got it up to Jerusha. Jerusha Kepper Up towards the goal square. 1-on-1. Not quite able to be taken by Julius. Julius has a shot. Snaps it around the body. Minor score. But this is the first time in the match that Nauru has looked on top. The John English end, I remember all together now. Thank you, Troy. And I met John English once. It was a couple of months before he sadly passed. But he's as friendly in real life as you'd imagine. Desmond supporting Troy. And Brian Barish from the United States AFL saying what's become wonderfully obvious. Oh, just didn't come down with it was Toto. Kicked off the ground. That's come through to Julius again. Looking for space. Gets it back to Vanilla. Vanilla has a shot. Just off target. They're coming. They've been dominated for most of this match, the Nauruans. But in keeping with Brian's point about the overall tournament, this match is suddenly evening up. Goes out on the 50 towards puddle number 38. Dropped by Vanilla just in time. The tackling pressure from the Storm is fierce. They found a way out. Plenty of physical strength from all four teams, but notable amongst the Tongans. Two Nauruans around the ball. That's what created that opportunity. And still willing to move the ball by hand even in the wet. Litea going forward, looking for the run of, I think, Siunipa. Gets there on the ground. Litea unable to finish off the move, but no fault of hers. Hits the ground in front of Anne DeBal. Kicked off the ground. Forward just goes out of the way of Litea out for a boundary throw-in. Brian, I heard someone say number 24 too as the goal was kicked, but that's the number of Julius, and she was the one who made the handball to the player who kicked the goal. So that's the only reason I ruled that out, but I heard the same thing as you. Thanks for backing me up. And Martina Scotty throwing her support behind Vanilla Ika, and I'll throw mine behind her as well. The wind completely took that boundary throw in, but we're playing on. 50-50 ball. I thought it had been taken in traffic by Naomi Palanite. Turned over, but a turnover mark coming. And on a day like today, sometimes you just have to get down on your knees and pray for the ball. No, I'll check the video during the halftime break and see if I can get the goal scorer accurately, because they deserve credit. Kick from 45. It's low, it's driving, it's a bit short. Hits the deck. Cleared by Aroeni. And should be, now they weren't playing the lasso rule in yesterday's match, so they are now. It's been awarded as a free kick. Tonga's free kick about 60 from goal on the right-hand flank. Looking for a centering kick. Was well spaced and it may fall. That's good positioning from Kayla Tamaki. Wasn't able to hold on. Free for all. Oh, strong tackle. That's Prinzili Ephraim, I believe. Player down. That shot won't count. So we'll go back to the injury. Yeah, the whistle had clearly been blown. So play will stop. We're nearly 11 minutes into a 17-minute quarter. It's 1 goal apiece in this quarter. Tonga 2-3-15 playing Nauru 1-2-8. Nauru had a period of dominance very early in the match. Then Tonga took over from about 5 or 6 minute mark of the first term. And then they dominated for most of the second term as well. And then it was Nauru who turned it right around and scored. But just in the last couple of minutes, Tonga on the attack again. Knocked inside, plenty of gold jerseys. I think the player in the foreground was knocked over. That clearance will be contested. And in the 2-on-1, Laura Doguape is good. The left foot kick is touched in flight. Bounces all the way through. Opportunity for Tonga. Everyone hits the deck, squirting out literally and figuratively. The tackling is strong from Yoshika Cook. Nauru may have found a way out. They have not found a way out because the defence came from both directions. They're tackling faster than I can get the names out. But they are outside 50. Strong tackling work from Jerusha Kepa to dispossess, and then running away from it was Fine. And the umpires work in tandem to find a free kick for the Tongans. This will come back to Pilasisa Poano. Troy Thompson, consistently inconsistent, could describe the flow of the match or the commentary, but either way, you're accurate. The cross runs, the timing's been superb. I'm not surprised that Halika found a way. In that range just outside the 50. And she even gets that kick just on the money through to Toto. I said, stop it, Brian. I'm warning you. Yeah, I got it. Toto. Just dropped in the 50, just out of the fingers of Naomi Akua. They had players around, kicked out in desperation. Kayla Tamaki finds a target. Now she can link up, the counter-attack is on. She may just be able to do that. Socket forward, important pace, and the defensive work of Pilasita. Important, doesn't yield a reward. Knocked out of the hands of Jerusha. And that's a throw. Excellent tackle. The Nauruans just never gave up. I think Toto doesn't realise, oh, that's a 50. You can't roll the ball along the ground. If you concede a free kick, you've got to give it straight to the player. I don't think Vanilla Ika should have waved her hands in Toto's face as she went past. It's on camera. Yeah, that's... Come on. You're on show. As we get a few words in Australian dialect near the effects microphone. Sorry about that. So Charlie Capelle knocks it towards the pocket. Not entirely convinced that was the best option, but it is a boundary throw-in. Hello, Jessima. Hope you're enjoying yourself. The Nauruans in full voice on the chat. If there are Tongans there, please be encouraged. I love your team and throw your support behind them. I don't know what your access to computers is like. I don't mean to be patronising. I just want to be understanding of what your technological situation is. Good work in the ruck over the top of Andabal. Maintaining the opportunity. Vanilla Ika got it back to Kayla Tamaki. Hacked away, it's across field. Lasina Kula with work to do. Leaves it for a teammate, that'll do, that's enough. I know to be held on by Salome Leurikina. Dangerous tackle. The defense from the Tongans has been good. Brian Barish forming the Tongan chapter of the Philadelphia Australian Football League. Nauru looking for a deep entry inside 50, just over a minute to go. No mark taken, but Tonga did well to get their tall players in at that centre half-back position. That was good organisation at the back. Still Tonga leading by more than a goal. And that probably accurately reflects the match, where Tonga has been on top for more of it, but Nauru certainly not out of the match. And they've won a free kick here. 40 seconds left in this half. They would want to make this count. Taking opportunities when you get forward is important today. Put forward, that might have been Ingrid Harris. Mark dropped in the goal square. Cleared sideways by the Tongan defenders. They may even look for the safety of the boundary. Now, may have to take a set shot here and just go for it. there won't be time to set up a kick. So Vanilla Ika, we're about to find out what her range with a wet ball is. Steps inside. It's a low driving kick. The mark is dropped. Time running out. It's away from the goal. The siren is imminent. Out for a boundary throw in. Where is the siren? As Brian Barish co-ops European jokes for the benefit of the South Pacific. That's the siren. It came 30 seconds later than I was expecting. 1 goal apiece in that quarter. Nauru, 1 goal 2. Tonga, 2, 3, 15.
Let's push back into the fence and help them to make sure okay? Give it back to them. So you can't just make sure we give it back because we can't give away easy free kicks. And the other thing is, on the mark, we have to just stand, and we can't move until the umpire calls play on. Stand, as soon as he calls play on, then we can move. If we move to the left, that's what you have.
Welcome back to Maroochydore. We're on the number 3 oval at the Maroochydore Multisports Complex. So the netball courts you've been seeing for most of the week are away to our left. Jezza Regadio throwing her support behind the Aroeni. Alina Tamaki asks a good question. Says, hi Daniel, is it Julius Baguga or Cleo Baguga? I've been given both names in different lists this week, and so I'm confused myself. If you know that it's Cleo, tell me, and I will believe you. But we're underway in the third quarter. Tonga knocking it forward. They're running to the right of screen in this quarter and getting the advantage early through Lucina Kula on the ground. Good thump forward. Found its way to Holika. Got a kick away. The thump before came from Toto, who's on the board again today. Difficult pick up in the wet conditions. They might have been playing for a free kick. Thumped forward by Latea. This may squirt out. Sorry, that's Latea. Well, she's got a minor score. Draws the applause of teammates. Alina Tamaki says it's Cleo. I'm going to go with Cleo. So number 24, Cleo Baguga. And just on that, Alina's just educated me on the player ID. I've been doing my best with this week. The organisation hasn't been great. I need to say that out loud as Vanilla Ika handballs forward to Koro Tamaki. Please don't trick me by saying, no, that's actually someone who it isn't. But I will learn from you. Vashti Agege just lurking around the front of that contest. But it'll be a boundary throw in, and this ball will be sopping wet. In fact, it'll be a free kick. So the Tongans with a chance to get back in. And Big Brain tells us, just had a look over at the game on the other field where Chris Yind is all over the men's competition. It is bucketing down, and you're right. There's a few buildings in the background to give you a better idea of what the rain's doing. And you're absolutely right. It is not a dry day in Maroochydore. We ironically call this the Sunshine State as Toto takes a goal just at left half forward. Finds space inside 50, or now inside 50. And they've decided that the ground ball is the best way of getting it forward. Maybe they're right. Just out the back of the contest, well pilfered by Yoshika. She attempts to clear. And it was only the intervention of Vika Murphy that slowed play down, so that should be a boundary throw-in. Came off the fist. Brian tells me it's like a greased watermelon. I'm going to play straight man here and say I wouldn't know. It's a boundary throw-in. Tongans with an 8-point lead and territorial advantage. Nauru probably coming into this tournament with the bigger reputation. Working to get outside their own 50 now. Tackling from Gorgeous Tamaki over the top. It will just be a ball up about 52 from goal. Tonga with territorial advantage. Probably a wind advantage, although, as I say, it's been inconsistent. That was Holika at the back of the contest. Nauru finding a way forward, just knocked out of hands. It's going to be a scrappy game, but that doesn't mean boring. Usually means you see a lot of heart and soul in the players. Although if they keep soccering the ball, they may start enforcing the offside law. That's through to the goal scorer in Capelle, who was just tackled off the ball. That was clever. Didn't get onto it straight away. Forward from Capelle. Dropped by Ngalo. One Nauruan against 3 Tongans. And in this case, it was almost Chrissa who won it, but eventually was outnumbered. Forson backs on the near wing. Again socced. Control is not really a word that's employed at the moment. Vashti Agege forward. And inside 50. Comes through to Cleo Baguga. Knocked sideways. Now they'll give Tonga a chance to clear. Important intercept mark coming up. Taken at the second attempt by Ingrid Harris. Desperate defence from the Tongans. Gorgeous Tamaki. Inside 50, hits a couple of shins. They've got the numbers, Nauru, but the Tongans have got the positioning, and their discipline is stopping the Nauruans from getting too far forward. Vanilla Ika looking to change the narrative. Gets it towards the pocket. Was hoping for a puddle rather than a waters jump. Strong tackle from Chrissa. Interesting call coming up. Allowed to play on. Advantage paid to Cora. Turned over. And what the Tongans are doing cleverly is just making sure that they hold their shape at the back. And even if they don't have the most numbers in the contest, they make sure they've got it in the right place. Prinzili Ephraim forward to Kora Tamaki. Will just be a boundary throw-in, as there's a boundary line that only the boundary umpire can see at the moment. And if you'd like to hear about Big Brain 61 adventures on summer camp back in the pre-internet age, have a read on the chat. But yes, very innocent game, and I have heard of it. Not something I've done, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. New Zealand versus Papua New Guinea in the background. You can watch that game later. That word again, later. Right now, it's Nauru versus Tonga. Nauru pushing forward, just able to keep it in on that northeastern side of the ground. Sorry, southwestern side of the ground. I have been looking from the other side of the field the last few days. This is the first time we've had a look at a game from the eastern side. But it does give you a look at the Maroochydore clubhouse, which is a significant field in Queensland Aussie rules. Just another boundary throw-in. This play figuratively gets bogged down. We don't want it literally. Oh, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid, Brian. Bit of pushing in the in fact, no, it's just a retaken boundary throw-in. This rain is likely to be with us right through till Saturday. You're not going to see the Sunshine State in its full glory for this AFL Pacific Cup. But I feel, given that most of you watching live in Pacific nations, you really do not need me to try to explain tropical weather to you. Oh, brilliant tackle from the back. Just able to dispose in time, so the Nauruan opportunity prevails. Pushing off the ball, and the opportunity is over. The Tongans have done enough. Good hip and shoulder in the background. They both went flying. Again, the photo opportunity was probably of more importance than the football. Look at the speed, even in wet conditions. The chase, Jaya Tabua for Nauru and Latea Alua for Tonga turned the game to a 100-metre sprint. Back inside to Capelle. Gets it forward enough. Was aiming for one of the puddles, I suspect, and only met Kaesone Palanite coming the other way. Somehow knocked through. Just the desperation of these sides is astonishing. Knocked forward a couple of times by Fane Alua. As Brian Barish makes a fair point about Florida, as Vanilla Ika sees the ball go through her hands. Tonga pressing forward. And of course the clock is their friend. There's still 9 minutes left in this quarter as Toto circumnavigates her opposition. Through the hands of Nita Turangalo. They're expecting a whistle that never came. And in the end, Holika just loves capitalising on any kick that was made in hope from defence. Actually, I need to start calling Big Brain 61 Gordy if he's going to start quoting 1986 films at me. Love your work, Gordy. Through into the pocket. Tonga, that looked a bit like a rugby pass, and it's been called as such. Got to get the fist to the ball. And to be fair, I think she was trying. She just had one hand pulled back. But Nauru, they haven't always been good today at finding a way out. At least that time the kick was accurate. But Toto read that early, thumped it out. And I realise a lot of people with an interest in this game might be working right now, so if you're watching it and they're not, of course this game is on YouTube. The replay will be here for, well, we're not taking it down anytime soon, as long as YouTube lasts, really. Umpire just making sure the players are separate. Thump at the back from Gorgeous, didn't quite work. Trying to get it through the vanilla. Strong work in the contest, and she'll draw the free kick, the Tongan. Lasina Kula, who's been growing in this match. But oh, sorry, I misread that. I honestly thought that Lasina had earned the free kick for Tonga. Not to be. Handball through to Shiley Capelle. Had to handball in a hurry. Good enough. Picked up by Liliani Ngalo. And that'll be a lasso free kick. But I'm not entirely sure it was an intentional kick at all. And yes, Gordy, we're spending one short day in the red and white city. I see your Wizard of Oz reference and I raise you. Cut off. That cannot possibly have been a handball, but there was kicking in danger before that. So the free kick goes all the way back to the Nauruans. Still a bit shy of 6 minutes remaining in this quarter. As 50-metre penalty. So Nauru, their defence is held sure. No goals. In fact, we've just had the 1 point in this third quarter. And it's largely because of the defence of both sides. I'm told to play on, which is why the player could charge off the mark, which is how Tonga got a draw last night. Papua New Guinea in last shot. Bit of patience was required. They may have an opportunity now. Put on the boot by Vashti Agege. Goes wide to the pocket. Chased through by Kora Tamaki. Lays the tackle. Tonga with their hands on the ball, but the dump kick goes straight back to the opposition. A floating kick towards centre half forward. The Storm had the numbers, and now they've got the territory. Good work to get back from Naomi Akua, and the right time to slide. Got the tackle in the back. That is a very, very intelligent play from Naomi Akua. Straight through the middle, which on a wet weather day is the right thing to do. But a teammate was hanging back, and that allowed the rebound mark. That kind of kick will happen today. Forgive it. Socket off the ground and then beautifully caught. Might have been Lara. It's gone to Gorgeous Tamaki now in midfield. But Tonga, if they can hang on against the side, I realise Tonga's a larger country than Nauru, but Australian football is Nauru's national sport these days. Probably just ahead of weightlifting. And the AFL and the Aussie rules structure in Nauru is a lot more developed than that in Tonga. If the Tongan women, they've already had a draw with Papua New Guinea. If they can defeat Nauru, it's a huge result for Pacific Aussie rules, and that's no disgrace to Nauru. They've not gone backwards. It's just that Tonga is matching the competition when they may have been confident coming in, but those of us in neutral territory, I think, thought maybe they were just here for experience. Pushed forward by Jerusa Kepa. Turned around by the Tongans. Just yorked the player coming through in Leteiralua. Couple of steps. Inside 50. And that's one of the first passes that's gone to hand, in this case Vanilla Ika, for a long time. Still 3 minutes left as Lasina Kula just gets very close to the protected area. And is shooed away. Quite rightly. Vanilla Ika steps around. Needs a long shot. And the tackling pressure from Liliani Fine affected the disposal. Toto can clear. Unlucky bounce off the chest. Did most things right. They've got a 4-on-2, the Tongans. If they work together, they'll be able to clear the ball. Busting her way through is Vaya Matahal. Socked forward. Now Nauru with the numerical advantage. Desperate work. And I think the umpire, I thought he was going to play a free kick for over the shoulder, then played advantage and it didn't work out. That's a free kick. As Meliami Lavako just went ka-thump into her opponent. Naomi Akua, as the two number 4s go sprawling on the floor. Bit under 2 minutes left. Play moves to the south. Intercept mark taken. Toto's been very involved today. Aiming for a shorter kick, just didn't quite come off the right part of the boot. Nauru, 8 points down with work to do. Krista Detanamo beats one player. Deep inside 50. Couldn't find the forward in Cleo. Still looking for Cleo. It's run out of play by Joanne Offer. And that's been called deliberate. It's a free kick to Nauru. And to be fair, Joanne did kick the ball out from a fairly long way away. It's a difficult angle. There's a spare player. Vanilla is in the goal square on her lonesome. Banana kick. Dropped by Vanilla in the goal square, then bowled over in the back. Push in the back. Free kick to Vanilla. Now she's got Lara. Lara dug right. Why is she pointing? She's in the best position. Vanilla Ika. She's got it. It was a strange period of play. But a good section of play. A delicious section of play ended up with a topping of vanilla. And we won't have much time to restart. It was a difficult angle, but she ran around the player on the mark well. And that is 3/4 time. Vanilla Ika with the last kick of the third quarter, a very tight third quarter. Both teams can be very proud of their defence. It's Nauru 2-14, trailing Tonga 2-4-16.
Just a couple of things there. Look, we're kicking to the scoring end, okay? It's where most of the goals have been scored, so we can still kick goals and win the game, okay? So scoring, but a couple of things we have to do. Sometimes when we're caught behind our player, all right, we run and just push them in the back. We can't do that because if we're behind them, let's try and get up, keep our feet, so don't fall on the ground. Don't come behind them and fall down and push them, because that gives them a free kick. Okay? If we're behind, keep running and try and run to the front. Alright? Even if they pick it up, then we can tackle them. But don't fall into their back. We gave away a couple of free kicks just going into their back, okay? The other thing, we had the ball here once or twice, and we tried to just kick back inside short, okay? In this round, let's go long. Go long, and deep, okay? So make sure forwards, again, we still didn't move enough. Just move, lead, okay? We're doing really well, alright? It's going to be hard, it's a wet ground, it's heavy, we're going to be tired, alright? Our legs are going to be aching, but our minds are going to be strong. Okay, our legs will ache, our body aches, but our mind is strong. A couple of times we didn't push back quick enough. When they got the ball, we were too slow to push back. soon as they get the ball, push back. I think I noticed over on the wing here, you let your player just be in front of you. Just go up to them and be in front of them, okay? Around the ground, we want to be in front of our players at all the time. Right? You want to... Work really hard, play in front, give the ball back, push back really quickly, okay? Defend really quickly, push back really quickly, okay? Work really hard, let's go.
Number 17 had a hit to the head in the last couple of minutes of the last bit.
This AFL Pacific Cup's all right, isn't it? Third game into the women's tournament. We've had a 2-point result, a draw, and now we've got a 2-point margin at three-quarter time. Big thump from the Tongan ruck. And then an equally big soccer in the reverse direction catches everyone off guard. It's not so much soccer as volleyball at the moment. Or maybe rugby union between England and Scotland in the 80s, where that really was just force and backs. But right now it's all about Nauru versus Tonga at Maroochydore. Oh, was that... I thought it may have got one of the players in the head, but no one seems to be down, as Holika's doing what she always does by bustling through the middle. It's a scooped, incorrect disposal. So Holika will have the free kick. She's about 65 from goal. As Tonga running to the southern end, the left of your screen. Into the wind. Well cut off. That was Maya Karu who was getting herself in the way. Sorry, I've got the wrong game. Hang on. Sorry, that was Prinzelli Ephraim. Tonga on the attack. They've missed. Did it go out on the full? Either a boundary throw-in or... It's no score. It's either a boundary throw-in or a free kick. Yeah, went out in the full. So... Nauru, 2 points behind. So Tonga, they've conceded a free kick, but from their perspective, they're at the correct end of the ground. If they can turn over this ball like that, just dropped. Fantastic effort. The Nauruans desperately retreating. They've at least caused a stoppage. As Thrixina threatened to break away. The game after this, Papua New Guinea versus New Zealand, that will get underway in about 48 minutes from now. Tongans knocking it to advantage. Nearly ended up with Latea. Just a ball up, but look at the territory the Tongans have. The storm is coming. Uncontested. Back towards Latea. Holika goes for a kick over the head. Just out of reach of the tall forwards. Back to Latea. Tried to get it onto the left. It's gone through. That's a goal. And it's always good if you can signal your own goal as well. So from the restart, could have possibly taken it down. And it was Toto. Went through a lot of hands. But Emelina Toto gets her second for the match. And that's one at each end of the ground, scored in the first quarter at the other end. But just through having a huge number of players at the contest, they're able to make it count. Nauru, they want a quick turnaround. They're inside 50, just out of reach of Jerusha Kepa. Pushed out wide, goes to Vika Murphy. Holding the ball. Vika was held. Comes back. So the free kick is given to Lara Dogoape, who we've seen more in defence through this tournament, if I'm remembering correctly. Lara straight up towards the goal square. And that was far too comfortable a mark in the Tongan defence for Nauru's liking. Off the hands of Vashti. Back to Naomi Akua. Needs a teammate. That's a brilliant mark in defence. I think that's Salome Halika again. I wasn't given the name of the captain of the Tongan side, but I wouldn't mind betting. That's Salome Halika. She's certainly their energy on the field. Emelina Toto just wastes a bit of time with the unnecessary dive. Works her way up the left wing. Finds a teammate in Feofa Aki Veyamatahau. A low kick on this near side, the eastern side of the ground. Just somehow got out of the bottom from Ingrid Harris, but turned over. Tonga, awful bounce. It's been bouncing low all day, and then that ball decided to kiss Fane Alawa. And Fane copped one in the mush. Turned over. Nauru on the attack again. Vanilla keeps it wide. Goes out towards Jerusha Kepa. Kept it in cleverly, being chased through by Lara Dogoape. Trickles over the line. Oh, called a lasso. Must have come off a foot. This will be an interesting call. It's gone to the Tongans. They're keeping it wide, which if you want to keep the opposition away from goal, that'll be out in the full, as the pressure on the kick was strong. The live chat's still open, but I appreciate that you're probably more interested in watching the game than talking about it, because this is a thriller. Vanilla Ika was fairly well weighted, just out of reach of Shiley Capella. Big hit from Gorgeous Tamaki. Shiley, that'll be out in the full. Because Salome Halika is leading by example. And I missed Alina Tamaki's. That's play on. Didn't go 15. Tongans need to run it out. They go slightly infield to a 2-on-2. Nearly fell to their advantage. Returned by Elwogi Hiram. If you kick off the ground, you've got to make sure you don't miss. Nauru with the numbers at left half forward. Trying to get into some kind of space. The one-on-one, that's fallen through. It's gone to Cleo Baguga. Cleo Baguga! So there was a defensive error there. Once you start soccering off the ground to your 50, you've got to make sure you clear it. The kick over the top into space was superb. It gave Cleo Baguga plenty of space to run into, and then the check side shot was fantastic. With Charlie Capelle the first to celebrate. But Cleo, who scored in the first game, scores again here. And once again, the gap is reduced to 2 points. Nauru on the attack. Going route one. Over the top to Chrissa. Chrissa soccers through. Their goal side again. Cleo again. Across the face. Just through for a minor score. The gap reduces from 2-1. The Tongans have done so well to defend in this match. They won't want to give up their lead easily, and indeed they're not, as they try to run it out. They're outside 50. There was an infringement before that. We're going to go back for a free kick. And I missed the umpire's signal. Martina Scotty's excited, and quite rightly so. So the chat numbers have just increased. Nauru heading goalwards. That's an important intercept mark. And maybe she had more time. Maybe it didn't go 15. I'm not sure. Toto. She's an important player. Italy DePaul making a presence felt in the contest. Good handball under pressure, but was ill-directed. Salome out of trouble. Goes over the head of Vika Mafi for Tonga. Wrestling in the contest is Latea Alua, who's been superb today. Just trying to knock it out and then holding off the ball. The Tongans avert the danger for now. This is the time to get your work friends who aren't watching and say, look, take your afternoon tea break. You've got to watch this game and then watch the whole thing again later. Nauru in attack. The Shepherd was strong from Ruth Scotty. The handball from Gorgeous Tamaki wasn't great. Turned over. Kaneisone Palanite got herself in the way. And now running it out, the Tongans. There are 8 minutes remaining. Goes past Thrixina Alua all the way back to Elwogi Hiram. Back across. Horrible bounce. If you can get... Oh, kicking in danger, surely. Yes. So that'll be a free kick to Nauru Aroeni. The Tribe is on the mark. Always love seeing an umpire signalling kicking in danger because you're never quite sure that they're going to keep their balance when they do. Deep inside 50. Lands at the feet of Charlie Capelle. Contested well. Good work on the ground. Strong left foot kick from Salome. Assessing her options was Vanilla Ika. Been working well. Charlie Capelle off the side of the boot. And well done keeping her feet in the contest. Just missed the player. Chrissa comes back. Kanea Sone throwing her body around. And then cleared by Salome again. It'll come back via Thrixina. Has Naomi Akua inside, but rightly decides to kick it herself. 2 or 3 on none. Well taken by Chrissa, who claimed it straight away. Knew there was confusion about how many people had touched it, and so caught it and then go, that's mine. She almost could have yelled, how's that? 1 point the difference. Chrissa up towards centre half forward. Falls loose. Kayla Tamaki. Kayla Tamaki gives Tonga, who gives Nauru the lead. It was Chris's mark. It was Chris's kick forward. But it was Kayla Tamaki who was at the drop of the ball. Plenty of players fly, but that is good roving. That is exactly what you want from your inside midfielders. And for the first time in this match, Nauru has the lead. Tonga opened the scoring. Nauru didn't score in the first quarter. They're 5 points down, but they're on the attack. This is the response they need. Back in defense, Elwogi Hiram. Under pressure from Ma'u. Through the back, Feofa Aki. They've done well, the Nauruans. Was that called a mark? Ingrid Harris certainly thought so, and she's gone back for it. And turnover mark on the 50. I suspect that's one of the Ngalo sisters. Jezza Regadio says, let's go. Because Jase Kane says what I think we're all thinking, which was what a goal. Nauru with the numbers around the ball. Yes, definitely a player tackle without the ball, so that free kick will come back. And unfortunately, bit of good work undone, but still 5 minutes left. Nauru lead by 5. They've only just taken the lead. The kick doesn't clear. Fell out of the arms of Liliane Fine. Trying to turn it around is Naomi Palanite. Nauru doing enough on the ground through Ruth Scotty. And the counter-attack is on. Precious Tamaki has time to pick it up. Will shoot from distance. It's goal side. Cleo Bagoga. They were under the pump for probably 2 full minutes. But they worked hard on the ground. It was Precious Tamaki initially. The Nauruans were able to get it forward. It was Precious there, beg your pardon. Just got it over the back. Joanne Orfer did as well as she could. But once Cleo Baguga got the goal in sight, she would not be denied. 3 goals in this quarter for Nauru Aroeni. So far, they are the only side in this competition with a win, with Tonga and Papua New Guinea drawing last night. And they have an 11-point lead with 3.5 minutes remaining. Jezza Rigardio, and I'm going to say Kazjase, but if that's wrong, I apologise, Kane. Tonga, they won the last clearance. Turned over already. Nauru get the clearance, but that is a good intercept mark. They don't need to panic. They've got 2 goals in them, the Tongans. We know this. Not able to connect the passes that time. Now, they don't want to slow down too early, Nauru. Gorgeous Tamaki will be told to play on because she took a very long amount of time. And this gives the Tongans a sniff because they put their own disposal under pressure. And the red and white jerseys are attacking the ball hard. Cleared by Pilasita Puano. Trying to turn it over in midfield. That's a brilliant catch from Liliane Fine. I have a feeling she did one of those in the under-17s as well. She clearly has brilliant reflexes, but this will be returned by Elwogi Hiram. Just tangled up in the legs. Knocked underground by Ruth Scotty. Contact looked like, no, you can't just appeal to the umpire. You've got to wait till they blow the whistle. Keep playing until the whistle's blown. Because from his angle, it looked like that contact was just below the shoulder. So play on. Martina Scotty's calling the game already. You have that luxury. I'm a commentator. If I go early, I get reminded of it for a very long time. Good sliding mark taken by Ruth Scotty. They're all going for the rock guitar slides now. And I think she's milking this a bit. It's a bit early to start wasting time. Umpire will call play on. Umpire should call play on. That was very long. So they've got down to 1.5. Wonderful intercept mark. Absolutely superb. And the Tongan Talls. So even if they can't score twice in the rest of this game, and they have conceded 3 goals, they'd love to finish with a goal to at least keep them with a big chance of making the final. Good mark inside the boundary from Gorgeous. People will look at this game and see, well, at this stage, Nauru winning by 11 points and think, oh, it was a comfortable victory. It was anything but. They took the lead about 5 minutes into the 4th quarter, holding off the ball. Oh, bit of argy-bargy in the background. I think players just got tangled. So hopefully they'll forgive and forget quickly. But 40 seconds remaining. Nauru with an 11-point lead. Tongans need to clear the protected area. They now have done so. Nauru looking to finish with a flourish. Goes towards Cleo again. Plenty of players hit the deck. Bit of hurdling going on as well. It is a multi-sports complex. Kapasan Dawayogo. Very impressed with the Aroeni today. Last play of the match. Comes off knees. Looked like a bit of kicking in danger. Plenty of Tongans around the ball. Full time. And Nauru have turned a 2-point deficit at 3-quarter time into an 11-point victory. It was a stunning final quarter. Emelina Toto scored for Tonga early in the final quarter, but it was 2 goals to Cleo Baguga and 1 to Kayla Tamaki that have sealed the wins for the Nauruans. And Lucky Sevenika, Nauru's backline was superb. There should be a lot of handshaking between these players. They've just taken part in a stunning exhibition of women's football. Thank you for your company. In 32 minutes' time, we'll be back on this ground for Papua New Guinea Flames against the New Zealand Kahu. My name's Daniel, and on behalf of AFL Queensland, AFL South Pacific, the Sunshine Coast Council, Queensland Tourism, and Pacific Oz Sports, thank you so much for your company. Thank you, Kaz Jace. I'll see you in half an hour. Bye for now.